Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Start. I'll.
Namaskar. Welcome to Common Indian Voice.
Okay, please start.
आज मैं शुरू करने से पहले सभी श्रोताओं को वसंत पंचमी की शुभकामनाएं देती हूँ। स्वामी जी आपको भी वसंत पंचमी की शुभकामनाएं। गीतांजलि जी आपको भी वसंत पंचमी की शुभकामनाएं। यही दुआ करती हूँ या यही देवी माँ से मांगती हूँ कि बुद्धि दे, ज्ञान दे, और क्या मांगे, यही दोनों मिल गए तो सब दुनिया में सब चीज मिल जाती है। इसी के साथ शुरुआत करूंगी हमारा जो सेशन चल रहा था गीता पे। स्वामी जी ने पिछले बार आंसर्स दिए थे, लोगों ने बहुत अप्रिशिएट किए, बहुत अच्छा लगा उनको। एंड क्वेश्चंस तो कुछ आए नहीं, मगर हमारे क्वेश्चंस हैं। मैंने टाइम निकाल के अच्छे से पढ़ा बहुत सी चीजें, तो मैं शुरुआत करती हूँ। स्वामी जी शुरू में ही ना प्रथम अध्याय में ही है कि वो एक तो वो बोलते हैं कि कुरुक्षेत्र का लड़ाई हुआ कहाँ पे, वो एक सवाल है कि लड़ाई हुआ कहाँ पे, वेयर वॉज द बैटल, वॉज इट इन अ फिजिकल एनवायरनमेंट और वॉज इट इन अ मेंटल एनवायरनमेंट?
बोथ।
हाँ, तो वो उसका जवाब दीजिए कि लड़ाई हुआ कहाँ पे।
Still there is a place called Kurukshetra, north to Delhi, 200 kilometers, and around that Kurukshetra, in Kurukshetra there are many places where Gita Upadesha was done. Jyoti sir, the water tank, which is now called Brahma Sarovar, where the rites of the dead were performed every day and after the battle also, because it was in the course of a river Saraswati. Even now that channel is called Paleolithic channel, I think. It has been traced by ONGC satellite tracing method. They have traced it and they have dug there and they have got water underneath. So water is flowing underneath. So all that myths, what was called a myth, has come into a reality, in the realm of reality now. And Prudhodaka Tirtha is now Pihova, where Sarpayagya was performed after much after the war by Janamedaya. That place is still called Safidon, where Hanuman had stayed. That is now called Kabistal Kethal, where Karna was camping. That was called Karnatal, is Karna's lake. So all the places are still there, and all those connected, they are connected with each other. It was a single ground. It was made plain, and its circumference was about 84 miles. So that place is still there, and all the things, they fall in place when the discussions are held. Even in Bhagavata, how the Yadavas used to come from Saurashtra, today's Saurashtra, to Kurukshetra, that route is still through Pakistan area they used to come. And then river Saraswati they used to take bath and then come to Kurukshetra. Kurukshetra's important is like Prayagraj on Ganga, Kurukshetra was on Saraswati. That is why Kurukshetra is important. And it is still important. The war took place there because whoever dies in the battle, they will get liberation, at least Swarga. That's why that war was arranged in that holy place, around that holy place. Strategically, Kauravas did not want to leave the capital far behind, because they would be attacked. And Pandavas also, because this holy place, it will support their side, because it is a Dharma Sthal. Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra, it is called. So it was the most famous Dharma Sthal in Bharat at that time. So on the banks of holy Saraswati. So that is where the battle took place. So there was a physical battle, and almanac proof is also there. The graha, nakshatra, yoga, panchanga, everything, and the calculation of yugas. So accordingly, now it is Kali Yuga, 52nd century. So I think it is 5123 now. So similarly, the war took place according to the Christian era. If we compare, the war took place around 3000 BC. Because after Krishna's demise, the Kali Yuga started. So accordingly, we can easily calculate the time of this. So all the proofs are there, and the continuity and anthropological proof means people claiming to be the descendants of various groups which were there. They are still now available on earth. They are there. Yadavas are there. Other Suryanshis, Chandravanshis, everybody is there. Jats were Jats. They claim that they had come to Kurukshetra from various places of the world and settled down around Delhi. So you find Jats only around Delhi. Nowhere else.
स्वामी जी, सॉरी आई एम इंटरप्टिंग, मगर गांधारी के श्राप के बाद यदुवंश खत्म नहीं हो गया था क्या?
यदुवंश खत्म हुआ था आफ्टर द वार.
हाँ, तो फिर उनका वंशज कैसे है आज?
No, it was the Yadavi Yuddha, what was called. That was there in Gujarat side only, where the Dwaraka, the capital city only. So the important nobles and their children were killed, not the people themselves. When the leadership is over, the people, they are scattered. So you find Yadavas in the same area in which they are prescribed to be in the war, in the around those areas only. You see, now there are some people claiming to be Marathas in Haryana. They claim that they had come for Panipat war, and then they settled down there. So these things were happening before, and at that time also it had happened. So all these things means every sort of proof which are required today to prove that an incident, historic incident had taken place, they are there. And archaeological evidences are also there, because all those places are there. Not only that, whenever there is some digging taking place in Haryana, we find signs of very ancient civilization which was on the banks of Saraswati. So all sorts of evidence are there. We can't just blindly deny to satisfy some
Exactly.
distorted
So what
version
about
of
the battle which was fought within? जैसे इसमें है कि लड़ाई जो था वो अंदर भी हुआ, आप अपने द्वंद्व जो बोलते हैं अपने अंदर. आई थिंक गीतांजलि जी मेरा क्वेश्चन को ज्यादा अच्छे से पुट कर पाएंगी. देयर वाज अ बैटल विद इन.
आई अंडरस्टूड, मैं समझ गया. ये अब एक नवीन व्याख्या है, क्योंकि अहिंसा, परमो धर्म ऐसे मानने वाले एक बड़ा विभाग, बड़े बड़े संप्रदाय भारत में उसके बाद उदय हुआ. पहले भी थे पर वो ज्यादा प्रभावी हुए उसके बाद. ये युद्ध में, because of the so terrible violence and killings and bloodshed in the war, this concept of non-violent life, ahinsatmak jivan, it was now put forward by the saints, and it was acceptable to the people also. So it gained strength. And the Jaina, wherever we go, from Ceylon to Tibet, we find that Jain relics are also there. It means they had a lot of influence compared to what the presence of Jains today in our country. Compared to that, they had a lot of presence in India, mainly in the city centers. It was because of this violent nature of this war, this principle of non-violence gained currency. And after that, Buddha also, though diluted a little bit into Karuna, but it still held people's imagination. It caught people's imagination. So people were attracted to these religions, Buddha, Jaina religions, those thinkings. It is rather thinking and philosophy. There was no strict religion as such. People would practice all, like today, if you go to Punjab, 6 will go to temple and 6 will go to Gurudwara. Hindus, so-called Hindus will go to temple and Hindus will go to Gurudwara. It is all the same, almost. So, similarly, nobody feels anything. But if somebody goes to a mosque or church, then that will be a topic of discussion because it seems to be something different. But going to a Gurudwara or going to a temple is not a topic of discussion because it is normal. So similarly, these practices were simultaneous in the households even, not only in areas. Kings also, whether they are Jain, Bauddha or Sanatani, what is called Sanatani today, Vedic, they supported all the thoughts, all saints. It was not like that they were attacking some and they were supporting some. It was not like that. So so accordingly, these new interpretations came. So they interpreted that now should not be any war. So they told this should be an internal struggle. Internal struggle to eliminate the demonic thinking and demonic attitude in us, traits in each. And this should be encouraging the Devic, divine traits, virtues, and eliminating vices and cultivating virtues. Swami Shivananda used to say. So it became like that. It was interpreted. And in Bhagavad Gita also there is a chapter, 16th chapter, Devi Sambhada, Asura Sambhada. So Devi Sambhada and Asuri Sambhada, they are defined to be Devi Sambhada Vimokshaya, Nibandhaya, Asuri Mada. Asuri Sambhada will pull you down. The Asuri tendencies will pull you down, and the Devic tendencies will pull you up, raise you up. So these things were discussed much later. There was actually a physical war. And everything holds witness for that, stands as witness for that. Mahabharata, the book, Bhagavad Gita itself, and the places, everything stands as evidence for that physical war. And the description of people coming into that war, that also suits. It also sings, means it also is in the same tune with the things which we can observe today. The Cheras, Cholas, Andhras, Karnataka, everybody came for war. So these things are mentioned even now. Some places are like now Maharashtra or Maratha, this name is not there, but Vidarbha is the king of Vidarbha is there. So many places are developed later. Because of some war, people were scattered and later they formed a trade center and town. Like that it happened. But this physical war was there. And that physical war held many lessons, offered many lessons. So accordingly, the Shastras were interpreted. And due to those Bhashya interpretations, our society became a very, very pacific, non-violent, tolerant, and to a fault, tolerant to a fault. Like Arnold Toynbee later said, if you are too refined and cultured, then barbarians will defeat you. They they will easily defeat you and snatch away your good things from your life. They will eliminate you also. So we had to face defeat at the hands of barbarians like Hana, Shaka, Mongol. Mongols did not enter the territory of India, even United India, but they attacked, they failed, Mihirakula and others, and they moved to Attic and others moved to Europe. They, then later, the invaders, Muslim invaders, so-called, from Arabia, Turkey, Ghazni, Afghanistan side, they came, they were actually barbarians. They did not have any civilization. They adopted things from here, they stayed on because they did not have anything behind them, that they did not leave behind anything. They were barbarians living in small hamlets. So
Exactly.
they came here, they saw big cities, so they settled down.
Yeah.
Started settling. They were driven back again and again. Our people displayed a lot of valor, but that was still not sufficient to bulwark. As a bulwark, it was not sufficient. Oh.
गीतांजलि जी, आपका सवाल प्लीज.
Gee, coming to the topic of boards and chants, I had one question that is asked of me sometimes. A lot of people will ask that. तो मैं वही पूछती हूँ आज कि ऐसा एक कहानी आती है भगवान बुद्ध की कि उनके यहाँ एक अंगुली माल का नाम का वो था, राइट? तो वो ऐसा बोलते हैं, जो बुद्ध धर्म को मानने वाले लोग बोलते हैं कि अंगुली माल was reformed in the company of Buddha, because Buddha went and spent a night with Angulimal, and because of the positive and calm vibes of that Buddha radiated, so that person was reformed. And then they compare it to that when Krishna goes to, Bhagwan Krishna went to talk to Duryodhan. They say he could not reform Duryodhan, but Buddha could reform Angulimal. And so in that manner, they put Buddha to be above Shri Krishna. They say उनमें ज़्यादा शक्ति थी बुद्ध में कि उन्होंने रिफॉर्म कर दिया और भगवान कृष्ण नहीं कर पाए. So this is a question they ask.
We can very safely come to the conclusion that it shows the lower standards of the questioner. Don't pull Buddha and Krishna to their levels. They should not. They faced different situations. They handled it to the best of their divine stature. So we are nobody to question them. We are nobody to compare them, and we are nobody to analyze their performance, give marks to them, whether they are succeeded, how many marks they got. All these things, we are actually nobody to do those things. Still, since the question had come up, Angulimal was a single person, not a product of a system. Duryodhana was a product of a system. And Krishna had to reform the system, not only a person. If it was to reform single person, then Krishna could, the forbearance was very much there. Krishna had this forbearance. Rukmini had attacked him when Rukmini was taken away by Krishna. As per her wish, Rukmini's wish, Rukmini had attacked him, killed many soldiers, killed many persons who were very close to Krishna. Still, when Aniruddha's marriage was to be done, he agreed. So, Krishna had a lot of forbearance. And in many cases, Krishna helped those who had attacked him. So, in that manner, even Shishupala he killed after 100 times. 100 times of unbearable behavior, intolerable behavior. After that only he killed. इसलिए हम इन महापुरुषों को इस तरह के बातों में नहीं डालना चाहिए। दोनों से जो सीखना है वो सीख कर दोनों पक्ष में जो हमें अच्छा दिखता है उसको स्वीकार करना पड़ेगा। नहीं तो बुद्ध के आलोचक भी बहुत थे, हम वो बातें उठाकर अगर उनके तरफ जाएं, और कृष्ण के आलोचक भी बहुत थे। अब कोई कहते हैं कृष्ण तो डिड नॉट हैव अ गुड कैरेक्टर, रासलीला करते थे, मैरिड विमेन, he used to dance with them and indulge in acts which are considered to be immoral. So it is that gopis came to him. He did not go to gopis, number one. And he was only 9 years old, 6, 7 or 8, 9 years old. That is not an age in which people can think of any immoral relations. So just now one small girl was here. She is playing around. I am sitting here. Can there be any chance of anything in her mind? Similarly, Krishna was a child of 5, 6 years, 6, 7, 8, 9 years. At the age of 10, he went away to Mathura, fought a war. So those who discuss Rasalila, will they emulate the war with Kamsa? They can't even think about it. So what I am saying is, let us learn from Bhagavad Gita. Let us learn from Krishna, who was king of Dwaraka. Let us learn from Krishna, who taught Bhagavad Gita, or who taught Bhagavata, who told Bhagavata to Uddhava. Let us learn from them. Instead of, and similarly, Tripitaka and other this of Buddha, let us learn from them. Instead of by criticizing, we can't change anything. The facts are laid out in front of us, and by analyzing also, we cannot change the facts. So what is to be done by each individual and society is that we must learn. We must learn, and we can learn from mistakes also. We can learn from the good things they did also. After 5,000 years, Krishna is considered to be Bhagavan. And during that time also, there must be some reason. Similarly for Buddha. Similarly for other, some prophets. Other prophets who were there. So, instead of going into the this critical analysis and all these things, or criticizing, we must learn. They came here to teach. We must learn.
गीतांजलि जी, आप सेकंड क्वेश्चन, आपका और क्वेश्चन होगा, आप पूछिए
जी। और प्रश्न अगर हम आज चैप्टर 1 डिस्कस कर रहे हैं तो उसमें जो एक प्रश्न आ जाता है कि अर्जुन जब कहते हैं कि युद्ध के जो उन्होंने अवगुण गिनाए हैं कि युद्ध के उपरांत जो सारे पुरुष क्योंकि मारे जाते हैं तो समाज जो भ्रष्ट हो जाता है, स्त्रियां भ्रष्ट हो जाती हैं, वर्ण संकर संतान उत्पन्न होती है और उसके कारण जो धर्म है वो समाप्त हो जाता है। तो इसका like after the war is over, we actually see that in reality almost everybody was killed, from both sides, from the Kaurava side as well as from the Pandava side. So did it actually did it become a women-centric society after that because men were all gone, or still some were left? I sometimes wonder about that how did the society go on after that?
It seems that after 36 years after the war, Yudhishthira ruled. And the capital, other people, the wars fought in our country were Dharma Yuddha. So again and again, this dharma yuddha, dharma yuddha, treyonya, kshatriyasya na vidyate. Kshatriya was the warrior class, so, and they were to engage in dharma yuddha only, considering dharma for dharma. So for dharma, by dharma, they had to fight. According to dharma, they had to fight. So that was observed in a very detailed manner, and there were people, elders among Kshatriya like Bhishma also, and also there were other Purohits and others who used to observe whether they are observing dharma or not. So that restriction was there. So other people who are engaged in other activities, they were not attacked. People who are not armed, even in the battlefield, like serving in other things, other details, cooking food, treating the wounded, taking care of the horses and other things, bringing supplies, and all other things, they were not attacked. And people who are not in the battlefield, resting in their camp, they were not attacked. So all these rules were followed. So there is no chance that all the male population was eliminated. They were not in the battlefield. Even if they were in the battlefield, they were not killed. The population was very a huge population. Even in the 8th century, Swami Vivekananda says there were 10th century, there were 40 crore people in the territory which is now called United Bharat. That is our country, Pakistan, Afghanistan, all this area included, Ceylon, Burma, all this area included. So there were 40 crore people, Swami Vivekananda was saying. So it means that there was a huge population because this was a very highly advanced, civilized center in the world. There were isolated civilizations in other places which are recognized very much. We don't have historians, our historians, world famous, though we could not project our real image in the world of history, in the history. So all were not killed. The people observing dharma at their homes, they were all safe. They continued the tradition, and the generations also came up. All this was there. And this rule, Chandravansha, they are called, continued for a long time after the war. It continued for nearly 1,000 years. And most of the populace in the present nation, in our nation, they are Elas or Chandravanshis. So anthropologists say. Most of the population. The Suryavamsha influence was on the east side of India, and they still follow that name, title name, Rama, as Suryavamshi. So all these things are happening still. So there is nothing to be. So these things are just by observing only, we can understand that the civilization continued. Nobody was killed. Women centric means it was like that. Kundi was leading the Pandavas' thought process. Draupadi was leading the Pandava thought process. Gandhari was leading the Kaurava thought process. When Duryodhana goes, she boldly says, she did not say Vijay Bhava. She said, Yadho Dharma Stado Jaya. Yadho Krishna Stado Dharma. Where Krishna is, there Dharma is. Where Dharma is, there victory is. She boldly said that. So all these things, and when she asked Duryodhana to come stark naked in front of me, at least I want to save you from Bhima's fury. So I'll make your body a steel like by mere look, because I have been observing this sadhana, restraint for such a long time. I have got this special ability, Siddhi. Duryodhana came, but he was covering private areas with a leaf. So she asked, did you meet Krishna on the way? Krishna was standing there. So she was leading the thought process in Kaurava, this field, everything. So this has been there in our country at least till the 2 or 3 centuries before. In there are matrilinear societies even in northeast and south. There are still matrilinear societies, many. So this thing is not a new thing. This and the women are custodians of dharma even now, wherever you go, where there is katha, pravachan or any other rituals or anything, you see the women are leading there. They are the biggest presence there. And they remain, even now, you must be knowing this. You have to remind the men folk in your house that today is this Vasanta Panchami, you have to bring all this. One day I was sitting at a home, one person was with me, a phone came from his wife. Don't eat anything that is prohibited. Tomorrow is Father's Shraddha. Husband's Father's Shraddha, my wife has to remind. So such is the situation even now.
True,
So women leading the thought process, at least in the field of dharma and religion, it is still going on and nobody object to it.
Very true, very true. Swamiji, we are running short of time. I had another question, but I will ask it next week क्योंकि वो उसका आंसर बहुत डिटेल है. तो
ask it I will make the answer short and next time detailed answer.
Question is that ये जो नाम है सारे के सारे, जैसे धृतराष्ट्र हो गया, दुर्योधन हो गया, द्रोणाचार्य हो गया, या कोई भी जो नाम है, वो नाम सिंबॉलिक थे.
I understood. नाम symbolic, physical तो थे ही, but their tendencies became a lesson for others for self-study, self-assessment. I belong to which category? We can study from Mahabharata. So it is a huge lesson, Mahabharata, in the social behavior of people. People who are normally very good personally, socially they will become very greedy, very obstinate, very, filled with hatred towards other category of people. Personally, they are very good people leading a very righteous life. So the Kauravas were all leading very righteous and religious life, doing their puja, listening to their purohit, obeying the elders, everything was all right. But when as a social group, they failed their own dharma. So Krishna asked Karna again and again, where your dharma had vanished at that time? To Karna, when Karna gives swears by dharma to Arjuna that don't kill me, I am unarmed and I have come down from my chariot, like that he was saying. This is a dharma yuddha. Then Krishna asked, where did your dharma go when Abhimanyu was killed? Where did your dharma go when Shakuni was cheating them? Where did your dharma go when Draupadi was insulted? Where did your dharma go when they tried to kill them in the forest? Like that. So, तत्ते धर्म कुदोगदा, तब तुम्हारा धर्म कहाँ चला गया था? ऐसे. So, they were also sharing by dharma only. It's not like that they were totally bad. If we compare today with the villains of society and the social elements, we will have to admit that Ravanas and Kaurava and all those people were not so bad compared to anti-social elements and others today. So that is as you said, it's a big topic. But Mahabharata is a lesson in where the society is headed, who is leading the society. These lessons can be learned from Mahabharata. That's why it is Itihasa.
Itihasa.
It happened like this, and history will repeat itself.
True.
That's why they wrote it.
Absolutely. मैं श्रोताओं को बोलूंगी, ये जो इसमें लिखा हुआ है, इस क्वेश्चंस को मैं नेक्स्ट वीक भी लेके जाऊंगी एंड स्वामी जी तो बिल्कुल मतलब अच्छे से समझाएंगे। हमारे जैसे लोग जिनको 2 बार 3 बार पढ़ने के बाद भी पल्ले नहीं पड़ता है, कुछ चीजें समझ लेते हैं, कुछ नहीं समझ पाते हैं, तो मैं फिर से आप लोगों को बोलूंगी कि क्वेश्चन अगर है तो प्लीज पूछिए, ताकि हम वो क्वेश्चन स्वामी जी से पूछ सकते हैं और आपको भी आंसर मिले और आपके साथ साथ हमको भी सीखने को मिले। गीतांजलि जी बहुत जल्दी इंडिया आ रहे हैं,
Please,
आई
oh,
होप
let me,
मुलाकात होगी
let
मेरी
me,
और उनकी। स्वामी जी
let me,
थैंक यू वेरी मच।
oh,
जी
let me chant a slogan.
Yeah.
Om Vasudevasudam Devam Kamsajanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinas Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Let us pray for world's health. Hari Om.
हरिओम।
Okay. Thank you.
अच्छा लगा तो प्लीज लाइक कीजिए, शेयर कीजिए एंड नेक्स्ट वीक फिर से आइए।